Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayanti Nashyaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevam Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 19. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. Text number 121. So, Kavi Karnapur in his book Chaitanya Chandrodaya has described the meeting between Rupa Goswami and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these are the verses about that meeting. यह प्रागेव प्रिय गुण गणेर गाढ़ बद्धो विमुक्तो गेहाध्यास रस एव पर मूर्त इवापि अमूर्तः प्रेमालाप दृढ़तर परिष्वंग रंग प्रयागे तम श्री रूपम समम अनुपमयन अनुजागृहा देवः. From the very beginning, Srila Rupa Goswami was deeply attracted by the transcendental qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, he was permanently relieved from family life. Srila Rupa Goswami and his younger brother Vallabh were blessed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although the Lord was transcendently situated in his transcendental eternal form at Prayag, he told Rupa Goswami about transcendental ecstatic love of Krishna. The Lord then embraced him very fondly and bestowed all his mercy upon him. Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, Prema Swarupe, Sahaja Virupe, Nijanurupe, Prabhure Karupe, Tatanurupe, Swavilas Rupe. Indeed, Srila Rupa Goswami, whose dear friend was Swarup Damodar, was the exact replica of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was very, very dear to them. Being the embodiment of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love, Rupa Goswami was naturally very beautiful. He very carefully followed the principles enunciated by the Lord, and he was a competent person to explain properly the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expanded his mercy to Srila Rupa Goswami just so he could render service by writing transcendental literature. Ei mata Karnapur likhe sthane sthane Prabhu kripa kela yeche rupa sanatane. The characteristics of Srila Rupa Goswami have thus been described in various places by the poet Kavi Karnapur. An account has also been given of how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed his causeless mercy upon Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami. Mahaprabhu yat bada bada bhakta matra Rupa Sanatana Sabhar Kripa Gaurav Patra. Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami were the objects of love and honor for all the great stalwart devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Keha yadi desha jaye dekhi vrindavan tare prashna karen prabhur pariparishat gan. If someone returned to his country after seeing Vrindavan, the associates of the Lord would ask him questions. Kaha taha kaicha rahe rupa sanatana, kaicha rahe kaicha vairagya, kaicha bhojana. They would ask those returning from Vrindavan, how are Rupa and Sanatan doing in Vrindavan? What are their activities in the renounced order? How do they manage to eat? These are the questions asked. Kaise ashta prahar karen Shri Krishna bhajana, tabe prashna shia kahe sai bhakta gan. The Lord associates would ask, how is it that Rupa and Sanatan are engaging in devotion service 24 hours daily? At that time, the person who had returned from Vrindavan would praise Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. Aniket duhe vane yat vriksha gana, ek ek vriksher tale, ek ek ratri shayan. The brothers actually have no fixed residence. They reside beneath trees, one night under one tree and the next night another under another. I mean, they had given up even the residence, and they were the ministers earlier in Nawab Hussain Shah's kingdom. Had so much money. Like when Rupa Goswami was studied, when he retired, he had 2 boat loads full of coins. That much money he had. Gave up everything. And they are living under different trees every night. Vipragriha sthula viksha, kaha madhukari, shushka roti chaya chivaya bhoga parihari. Srila Rupa and Sanatan Goswami beg a little food from the houses of Brahmins, giving up all kinds of material enjoyment. They take only dry bread and fried chickpeas. Wow. See, to make progress, of course, Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, they are manjaris anyway. So they are there to teach us how to make progress in bhakti. Tapasya has to be there. Without tapasya, we cannot make progress. Many times, because different acharyas have their own realizations. So devotees talk about, discuss, argue what is the right philosophy, cat or monkey? Now, what is it, cat or monkey? So monkey, when we see a baby monkey, he hangs on to his mother's chest. And the mother keeps on jumping from one tree to another, and the baby monkey hangs on to her chest. And what about cat? The cat picks up her kitten in her mouth, and then she goes everywhere, and the kitten is just sitting in her mouth, and that's it. So this philosophy, there's 2 kinds of philosophies. So cat philosophy says the devotee has to be completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord, and him not worried about anything, not doing anything. And the monkey philosophy is the devotee has to do his tapasya, his sadhana, and based on that, he gets shelter at the Lord's lotus feet. Prabhupada referred, yes, our philosophy is cat philosophy, but that doesn't mean we don't do our sadhana and our tapasya for our purification. See, look at Rupa and Sanatana Goswami and all the 6 Goswamis, later on also, whoever joined them. They all performed tapasya. Tapasya was not uh, like the yogis do, heart yogis. That wasn't the kind of tapasya. The tapasya was to engage in devotion service, sadhana, strict sadhana, and really cut down the material needs, giving up all kinds of material enjoyment. From our perspective, it could be big tapasya. From their perspective, they're enjoying it so much, they don't need anything else. But this is the characteristic of all devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. They all get so detached. Further it is said, Karunya Matra Hate Kanta Chinda Bahirvas. Krishna Katha, Krishna, Nartana Ullas. They carry only water pots and they wear torn quilts. They always chant the holy names of Krishna and discuss his pastimes. In great jubilation, they also dance. Ashtaprahara Krishna Bhajan Chari Danda Shayane Nama Sankirtane Seha Naheko Nati. They engage almost 24 hours daily in rendering service to the Lord. Ashtaprahara Krishna Bhajan. Chari Danda Shayana. They usually sleep only an hour and a half. And some days, when they continuously chant the Lord's holy name, they do not sleep at all. So eating, sleeping, mating, defending, all these activities, material activities of any materially embodied person, they just go down when somebody makes spiritual progress. Kabu bhakti rasa shasa karai likhan, Chaitanya katha shune kare, Chaitanya chintan. Sometimes they write transcendental literatures about devotional service, and sometimes they hear about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and spend their time thinking about the Lord. Ei katha shuni mahantera mahasukha haya, Chaitanyera kripa yahe tahe ki vismaya. When the personal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear of the activities of Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis, they would say, what is wonderful for a person who has been granted the Lord's mercy. So Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami had no fixed residence. They stayed beneath a tree for one day only and wrote huge volumes of transcendental literature. They not only wrote books, but chanted, danced, discussed Krishna, and remembered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Thus they executed devotional service. And not only this, they manifested the lost places of pastimes of Krishna. They constructed major temples of Vrindavan. At that time, they were major. And Sanatan Goswami specifically, he's still considered as father of all the Brajvasis, because he would go to different villages, to different homes, and talk about what's happening in their lives, all the Brajvasis. Oh, how's the crop? How's the health? How's the kids doing? Is the daughter or son getting married anytime soon? Whatever. And everybody would treat Sanatana Goswami as a father. He would not only discuss, but lovingly give them advice also. And that is why the first day of Chaturmas, that is Sanatana Goswami's disappearance day. And that day, everybody from Braj, they go and do Govardhan Parikrama. They shave their heads off. It's called Mudiya Purnima because Sanatana Goswami passed away that day. And then they do Govardhan Parikrama. It is even more crowded that day than Govardhan Puja day. Because Govardhan Parikrama was very dear to Sanatana Goswami. And so to honor Sanatana Goswami, especially on his disappearance day, they do this. So this is Goswami. Not just going off to live in a cave in Himalayas and no, very much in the middle of the Brajvasis and taking care of them, writing books, chanting, discussing Krishna Katha. So many things they did. In Vrindavan, they are Prakrit Sahajya, who say that writing books or even touching books is taboo. For them, devotional service means being relieved from these activities. Whenever they are asked to hear a recitation of Vedic literature, they refuse, saying, what business do we have reading or hearing transcendental literatures? They are meant for neophytes. They pose themselves as too elevated to exert energy for reading, writing, and hearing. However, pure devotees under the guidance of Srila Rupa Goswami reject this Sahaja philosophy. It is certainly not good to write literature for money or reputation, but to write books and publish them for the enlightenment of the general populace is real service to the Lord. That was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's opinion, and he specifically told his disciples to write books. So for the upliftment of the general populace, books are very important. He actually preferred to publish books rather than establish temples. Temple construction is meant for the general populace and neophyte devotees, but the business of advanced and empowered devotees is to write books, publish them, and distribute them widely. According to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, distributing literature is like playing on a great mridanga. So he called it big mridanga. Because his logic was, whenever we play mridanga in Sankirtan, the voice of mridanga goes only little distance away. But when somebody distributes a book and the person takes a book to his house, or maybe he goes to another city, another country, and takes a book with him, and the book can create the sound or take the sound with it far, far away. So he called this book distribution as Big Mridanga. Consequently, we always request members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness to publish as many books as possible and distribute them widely throughout the world. By thus following in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami, one can become a Rupanuga devotee. Rupanuga, following in the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. Chaitanya Kripa Rupa Likhiya Chenapane Rasamrita Sindhu Granther Mangala Charan. Srila Rupa Goswami has personally spoken about the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his auspicious introduction to his book Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 112. So whenever we get to read that book. हृदयस्य प्रेरणाय प्रवृत्तो अहम वराको रूपोऽपि तस्य हरे पदकमलं वन्दे चैतन्य देवस्य. Although I am the lowest of men and have no knowledge, the inspiration to write transcendental literatures about devotion service has been mercifully bestowed upon me. Therefore, I am offering my obeisances at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has given me the chance to write these books. Ei mata dashadin prayagera hiya shirupe shiksha dila shakti sanchari. For 10 days, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at Prayag and instructed Rupa Goswami, empowering him with the necessary potency. So this is a confirmation of the statement, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahitar Pravat. Unless one is specifically empowered by the Supreme Personality of God, he cannot spread the Krishna consciousness movement. An empowered devotee sees and feels himself to be the lowest of men, for he knows that whatever he does is due to the inspiration given by the Lord in the heart. This is confirmed by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Tesham satati. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So the inspiration or the power comes from the Lord. To be empowered by the Supreme Personality of God, and one has to qualify himself. This means that one must engage 24 hours daily in the loving devotion service of the Lord. The material position of a devotee doesn't matter because devotion service is not dependent on material considerations. In his earlier life, Srila Rupa Goswami was a government officer and a grihastha. He was not even a brahmachari or sannyasi. He associated with Malechas and Yavans, but because he was always eager to serve, He was a qualified recipient for the Lord's mercy. A sincere devotee can therefore be empowered by the Lord regardless of his situation. In the preceding words from the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami has described how he was personally empowered by the Lord. He further states in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Iha yasya hare radase karvana manasa gira nikhila swapi avasthasu jivan mukta sauchate. A person acting in the service of Krishna with his body, mind and words is a liberated person, even in the material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. So to keep oneself free from material contamination and attain the Lord's favor, one must be sincerely eager to render service to the Lord. This is the only qualification necessary. As soon as one is favored by the mercy of the spiritual master and the Lord, one is immediately given all the power necessary to write books and propagate the Krishna consciousness movement without being hampered by material considerations. So only qualification necessary is sincerely eager to render service to the Lord. And like the services we are given, and foremost is chanting of the holy name. So we just render this service, even though we're not purely, attentively chanting. But seeing the sincerity, the mood of a devotee, that even though he's struggling, but he's sincere, he's trying. So Guru and Krishna, it is said, as soon as one is favored by the mercy of the spiritual master and Lord, so Krishna and Guru, they can bestow their mercy. And they do. Whether they can give power to write books, propagate Krishna consciousness movement, or to carry out services further. Whatever they can do. We just have to try our best. And keep on trying. Prabhu kahe shuna rupa bhakti rasera lakshan sutra rupe kahi vistar na jaye varnan. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Rupa, please listen to me. It is not possible to describe devotional service completely. Therefore, I'm just trying to give you a synopsis of the symptoms of devotional service. Parapara shunya gabhir bhakti rasa sindhu tomai chakhaite tar kahe ekabindu. The ocean of the transcendental mellows of devotional service is so big that no one can estimate its length and breadth. However, just to help you taste it, I am describing but one drop. So bhakti. So bhakti rasa amrita sindhu. It's a sindhu, it's an ocean of transcendental mellows of devotion service. And Mahaprabhu just described one drop of that ocean. Can we even conceive what is bhakti? People just say, oh, bhakti yoga is so easy. You just chant. That's what you do. Oh, bhakti yoga is, we are only capable of doing some part of it. Very, very minute. Eita brahmand bhari ananta jiva gana. 84 lakh yonite karaye brahma. In this universe, there are limitless living entities in 8.4 million species. And all are wandering within this universe. This is a challenge to so-called scientists and philosophers who presume that they are living entities on this planet only. So-called scientists are going to the moon and they say there is no life there. This does not tally with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's version. He says that everywhere within the universe, there are unlimited numbers of living entities in 8.4 million different forms. So 8.4 is a species. So every species has unlimited number of living entities or forms. And here, although Prabhupada says on every planet, but not just on every planet, within planets also are living entities as microorganisms. In Bhagavad Gita, we find that the living entities are sarvagata, which means that they can go anywhere or they are found everywhere. This indicates that there are living entities everywhere. They exist on land, in water, in air, in fire, and in ether. Thus, there are living entities in all types of material elements. Since the entire material universe is composed of 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, why should there be living entities on one planet and not others? So sometimes people say, how can there be living entities in fire? When they burn out, no, the soul doesn't burn. Cannot do anything to the soul. So even on sun planet, sun god is there, Vivaswan, and we studied in Bhagavatam that he goes on his chariot around Mount Meru. So on his chariot, means the chariot is there, horses must be there, charioteer is there, and then there are so many sages listening to Vedic recitations, sitting on the chariot. They don't get burned because in their bodies, the fire element is more. It's all made of these 5 elements, but the fire element is more. Simple as that. So fire doesn't burn fire. It just, they have the body suited to live on that particular planet. From the Vedic literature, we understand that there are living entities on each and every planet, regardless of whether the planet is composed of earth, water, fire, or air. These living entities may not have the same forms that are found on this planet Earth, but they have different forms composed of different elements. Even on this earth, we can see that the forms of land animals are different from the forms of aquatics. According to the circumstance, living conditions differ, but undoubtedly, there are living entities everywhere. Why should we deny the existence of living entities on this or that planet? Those who have claimed to have gone to the moon have not gone there, or else, with their imperfect vision, they cannot actually perceive the particular types of living entities there. The living entities are described as ananta, or unlimited. Nonetheless, they are said to belong to 8.4 million species. As stated in Vishnu Purana, there are 9 lakh species living in the water. There are also 20 lakh non-moving sthavar, such as trees and plants. There are 11 lakh species of insects and reptiles, and there are 10 lakh species of birds. As far as quadruples are concerned, there are 30 lakh varieties. And there are 4 lakh human species. Human species are the least. Some of these species may exist on one planet and not on another, but in any case, within all the planets of the universe and even in the sun, there are living entities. This is the verdict of the Vedic literatures. As Bhagavad Gita confirms, na jayate mriyate va kadacha. For the soul, There is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Nahanyate hanyamati. So the soul remains and body changes. And depending on his karma and desires, he gets a new body. And whether that body is on sun planet, then obviously the body is conducive to live on that planet. Since the living entities are never annihilated, they simply transmigrate from one life form to another. Thus, there is an evolution of forms according to the degree of developed consciousness. One experiences different degrees of consciousness in different forms. A dog's consciousness is different from a man's. Even within a species, we find that a father's consciousness is different from his son's, and that a child's consciousness is different from a youth's. Just as we find different forms, we find different states of consciousness. When we see different states of consciousness, we may take it for granted that the bodies are different. In other words, different types of bodies depend on different states of consciousness. So it's all matter of consciousness. Even in human form, as Prabhupada mentions, a child's consciousness is different from youth, so the bodies are also different. And definitely between animals and men, there are different consciousness. So as stated, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Mahamam, one's consciousness at the time of death determines one's type of body in the next life. This is the process of transmigration of the soul. A variety of bodies is already there. We change from one body to another in terms of our consciousness. And that is why Prabhupada named this society International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Our consciousness at the time of death is defined by our consciousness throughout our life. What do we read? Who do we associate with? What kind of work we do? What food we eat? These all have an impact on our consciousness. So idea is to remain Krishna conscious all the time. Or at least we try. Better than becoming a animal conscious person. It's just consciousness, and then the soul gets that body, he acts accordingly. So if our consciousness, just like it has been explained by Prabhupada, if somebody likes to sleep too much, and then he likes to eat food that is pretty much suitable for animals, then he will get a bare body, bare sleep for a long time. So it's all our independence, what kind of body we want, what kind of consciousness we want to develop in this lifetime as human beings. Others, they don't have any choice. But as human beings, we have a choice. And even as human beings, now we have a choice to become a devotee. So as a devotee, we try to become Krishna conscious. But at the same time, if we have other activities, other desires, other preferences, then we do mixed work. And so that's why it is said it's not a matter of one lifetime making progress in bhakti. It takes long time. So we develop both. So then we have desires, many unfulfilled desires and many partially fulfilled desires. So Krishna lets us take birth as human being, try to fill those desires, work on those desires, and then at some time he brings us in the association of devotees because we had developed that consciousness to a certain extent last life. And then again, the independence is also there because he doesn't want to force. Love cannot be forced. It has to be redeveloped from within. It's a very complicated system. Very complicated. Only thing is, we are not robots. That's for sure. We are not robots. Everything is not like Krishna is controlling all those strings. He is controlling, but he has given us some independence. So idea is not to misuse that independence. The idea is to develop our and it is dormant Krishna consciousness. It's not something new, something artificial that we have that will be imposed on us. No. That is all inside. We just have to bring it forth. That's it. So they're like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all the 6 Goswamis and other acharyas, they have worked hard. They have set their example that we should follow. Do some tapasya. More and more tapasya. And then enjoy. It's not that there is no enjoyment. Otherwise, why would the Goswamis would be dancing and in the kirtan and enjoying it? There's plenty of enjoyment in bhakti. But we just enjoy it correctly. That's okay. I guess I can stop here. There won't be any class tomorrow. Lord Purnima, so please enjoy if you're going to temple or whatever you're doing. And Holi also, so please play. We'll see you on Tuesday. Questions or comments?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Happy Holi.
Thank you, Mata.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Happy Holi, happy God Purnima, everybody.
Thank you, Mata. You all enjoy
Thank you.
Holi and God Purnima. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Jai
you.
Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Hare Krishna.